Weekend certainly feeling more like fall. Overnight tonight, expect mostly clear skies. It will be chilly. Low temperatures get down into the middle to upper 40s tonight. Mostly sunny skies on Saturday, a beautiful afternoon with highs in the middle to upper 70s. And mostly sunny on Sunday with highs in the mid 70s to lower 80s. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Currently from the KTC Broadcasting Studios, it's
5:30, and the temperature is 73 degrees.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price. With names like The Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General, and Travelers. Drop by the office today at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
Show with Shannon Allen, Dennis Davis, and Kevin Hastings and JP. Friday Night Lights.
Are you excited, JP?
Oh,
it sounds like it.
Oh,
it's football Friday night, JP.
I can feel the vibes in here.
I know. He rock. The energy's just shooting out of his chest in there like Captain America.
Wake up, JP.
Captain America didn't have superpowers. More like Green Lantern's ring. I think that'd be more accurate, in my opinion.
I knew you'd correct me on whatever I said, so I just said Captain
America.
Well,
I mean, you're the one that said Captain America. He has no superpowers. So, I mean, apart from being a super soldier.
So he's not a superhero then?
Oh, no, he's a superhero. I mean,
Him and Batman are not superheroes.
Not all superheroes have superpowers.
Now, see, that makes no sense.
I can name 5.
You have 5 powers, or you can name 5 superheroes.
I can name 5 superheroes who have no superpowers.
All right, JP, we'll be ready for those in the morning. Good evening, everybody. Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby, North Carolina Prep Football pregame show. We got a bunch of games tonight. Got 4 on KTC Broadcasting live tonight. The Bulldogs are off tonight, so no live video here on KTC, but we do have 4 other games for you guys to listen to tonight, folks. First of all, we got East Rutherford and Chase tonight on 107.5, 1320 a.m. in Forest City with Paul Foster and Jonathan Bland and Tanner Halbert. with the we'll have highlights of that game as well. Over in Shelbytown, Cleveland County tonight, we've got Kramer at Crest tonight.
Crest at Kramer.
Yeah, I said that wrong. Crest at Kramer tonight with Brent Pasco and Robbie Roop, and RJ will be getting highlights for that game for us for the Red Zone channel. WCSL tonight, 1590 AM, 92.9 FM. Cherville Ironman and the East Gaston Warriors tonight with Danny Aker and Matt Chapman. In Lincoln County this Friday night, we've got the Lincoln County matchup is the Lincoln Wolves hosting the Newton Conover Red Devils. Tom Cinefani is going to help on this broadcast tonight with David Potter. So Cinefani will be over in Lincoln tonight for his first action in Lincoln County tonight. So he'll be able to talk to Terry all morning tomorrow about how great Lincoln County football is over there. And then, let's see, highlights, an extra game, guys, we have on our highlight schedule tonight. For the folks that heard those games, we've got two other games where we'll have highlights from tonight. Bessemer City is at Highland Tech tonight. Brian Nichols will have highlights of that game. And then special highlights from Lincoln County. Mason Beam's up there tonight. The West Lincoln Rebels at the Maiden Blue Devils, Dennis. We'll have highlights of that.
Should be a good one.
Big matchup tonight. And that may be the game of the night in the area. And so for folks to keep a look at. And we're going to talk about that here in just a few moments. Let's pull up the games for everybody at home so we can check them out. And let's see, view, full screen for you guys over there. Where you guys can read them and blah, blah, blah. Here we go. How about that? And I guess I could turn on the big screen here in the studios. But Shannon, if you'll do the left side, games tonight in the area, kdcbroadcasting.com.
All right, so East Gaston Warriors will be at Cherville. Bessemer City will be at Highland Tech. Crest Chargers will be going to Stuart Kramer. East Rutherford will be traveling over to Chase for a county matchup. Newton Conover will be going to Lincolnton. West Lincoln Rebels will be at the Maiden Blue Devils. Bannies will be over at East Burke. Hunter Huss will be at South Point. Kings Mountain will be going to North Gaston. Forest View going up the road to Ashbrook. Thomas Jefferson will be traveling to Shelby. Polk County will be going to Hendersonville. RS Central will be at Brevard, and Bunker Hill will be at West Caldwell.
Okay, we got Community School of Davidson going to Mountain Island Charter. We have the Carver Yellow Jackets going over to Bishop Mcginnis. Pine Lake Prep will be taking on Winston-Salem Prep. The Avery County Vikings will be tackling the Drone Wildcats tonight. West Charlotte Lions will be playing West Mecklenburg Hawks. The St. Stephen's Indians will be taking on the North Iredell Raiders. North Lincolnton Knights will be taking on Hickory Red Tornadoes. Fred T. Ford Tigers will be taking on the West Iredell Warriors. East Lincoln Mustangs will be taking on Statesville Greyhounds. Owen Warhorses will be playing at Mitchell Mountaineers. The North Surrey Greyhounds will be taking on the East Surrey Cardinals. Surrey Central Eagles will be playing the Wilkes Central Eagles. Forbush Falcons will be taking on the West Wilkes Blackhawks, and the Bucking Elks will be taking on the East Wilkes Cardinals.
So we had, I think Watauga's conference in Ashe County, and those guys, Highbright, and they're taking this week off.
Yeah.
So that's where we're missing some of those games for you folks listening and didn't hear those names. And the Burns Bulldogs here in Cleveland County have the week off. Other than that, it seems like I think we got pretty much everybody else is back on this week after last week. We had a bunch of teams, 20 teams off 2 weeks ago, and then a few last week. So we're getting back into conference, but I think by next week, everybody will be back and ready to play. Let's first, guys, look at some highlights from last week. And Shannon, real quick, and Dennis, you guys got last week's scores. If y'all want to read through those while I pull that up real quick for them.
Well, I'll start with the Burns Bulldogs versus the Highland Tech Rams. They were able to squeak by 74-0. Shelby squeaked by Cherville last week, 70-0. Ashbrook fell to the Crest Chargers, 33-17. It was Bessemer City Yellow Jackets over the Jefferson Griffons, 47-24. It was West Lincoln Rebels over Bandy's Trojans 35-28. North Iredell Raiders 28, Fred T. Ford 7. It was the East Lincoln Mustangs 28, the Hickory Red Tornadoes 12. Polk County Wolverines 41, Patton Panthers 20. It was the Henderson Bearcats 35, the RS Central Hilltoppers 8. It was the Bunker Hill Bears 7, and the Lincolnton Wolves 6. It was Statesville Greyhounds 15, the North Lincoln Knights 9, Brevard Blue Devils 40, East Rutherford Cavaliers 6, Newton Conover Red Devils 64, West Caldwell Warriors 6, and Maiden Blue Devils beat East Burke 47-27. Shannon?
All right, Pine Lake Prep defeated Mountain Island Charter 30-0. Christ the King defeated Carver 27-6. Lake Norman Charter over Union County Cardinals 32-0. It was Kings Mountain defeating Hunter Huss 44-14. East Gaston close win over Cherokee 13-7. Forest View shut out North Gaston 20-0. South Point 47, Stuart Kramer 14. Marvin Ridge defeated Alexander Central 41-3. Close one up in Caldwell County. South Caldwell defeated High Brighton 35-34. St. Stephen's over West Iredell 49-20. It was Watauga defeating Ashe County 55-21. Drone Wildcats over the Owen Warhorses 55-12. Community School of Davidson 68. Bishop Mcginnis Villains. Is that what they are? Bishop Mcginnis Villains?
There you go.
21. And Freedom defeated Central Cabarrus 46-29.
All right. This is the Brevard Blue Devils 40-6 win over East Rutherford last week. Big win up there for Brevard.
And I'm not saying anything about Coach. I know Coach Bland was there before.
Mm-hmm.
That was the guy after him, and I can't remember his name, but that really put them in the hole. But you got what you got to say about East Rutherford is they show up to compete, and you can't. I mean, yeah, you can only do so much as a coach coaching these young people. They understand what's going on, but when they show up to compete, you gotta give them everything you have, and that will make them work harder. And I mean, they're
these are young kids, so by the time they're juniors and seniors, expect better results from them.
absolutely, and it builds character. too.
All right.
Builds character.
This next highlight will be Statesville and North Lincoln for you folks out there. Statesville and North Lincoln here.
Statesville or Hickory?
Statesville over North Lincoln, 15-19.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at this year. My bad.
Now, North Lincoln came out, guys. This is their first. They had AstroTurf installed last week, so they came out here, out on the field with the middle school and the Pop Warner and about everybody else that lives in Pumpkin Center. Shannon. First points on the board though. Liam Sutton, first points, 3-0 field goal. Beautiful sky up there in Pumpkin Center. They led 3-0 on the Greyhounds. Then Phoenix Lawrence found Justin Davison for this touchdown pass. Nice little middle, looks like a middle screen, middle field screen, and then Davis got missing on the sideline. He's gone from the 30.
Did he wave at the photographer?
He did not. That's still the highlight of the year. Emmanuel Maynard for the touchdown run for North Lincoln. That made it 9-8. Knights looking like they might pull victory out, but the Greyhounds, quarterback keeper off the left side, Phoenix Lawrence, long touchdown run, runs through a couple people into the end zone. And that made it Statesville 15-19 over the North Lincoln Knights.
The game was closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, all right, next game is this one is Kings Mountain and Hunter Huss. Hunter Huss, this first highlight, opening kickoff touchdown. And then they're off. We didn't get the name in the kid. Who's gone so far. Kings Mountain then tied it up 7-7 off a quick handoff left side of the running back. And the same running back left side. I kept running away from him, Shannon, so I didn't get any numbers on these guys.
Is that Holland? Caleb Holland, maybe?
I'm not sure. Nice little pass here on the little wider running back screen right side. That guy in the end zone. A couple of broken tackles. And then Huss cuts it with another long run, 14-19. Shannon, looked like we had a ball game here.
Yeah, Huss has got athletes. They can run with Kings Mountain, but they just don't have the depth. That's where Kings Mountain got them.
To the band here with a field goal. This put Kings Mountain up 22-14. And then 30-14 over Huss. Running back here on the left side, scoots on in. A lot of running in this. I don't know Little John throwing past the highlights here. Run. Right down their throats to a 44-14 victory over the Huskies there for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, Kings Mountain's got a good running game, good running attack that they haven't had in the past couple of years because of people being hurt. So yeah, they're gonna be a tough out for people this year.
All right, our last highlight from last week. This is the Bessemer City Yellow Jackets school-breaking performance. 5 touchdown passes for Jamir Holmes here. Yellow Jackets win 47-24. First pass is to Javontre Duff, 64-yard pass to him. The cameraman got excited, showing through his arms up, got to turn the camera. Jefferson tied it 8-8 with a run off the right side. The cheerleaders you'll be hearing in this highlight are the Jefferson cheerleaders, so shout out to them. They did a good job here. Jamir Holmes to Duff, 20-yard touchdown pass. Then Jamir Holmes kept it himself and ran one in for good measure. Jefferson cut the score 16-28. Nice little pass to the corner. Holmes to Duff again 3 times tonight to find Duff with a touchdown fade in the left corner. 34-16. This is the record-breaking pass, I believe. Jamir Holmes to Randall Pettis. No, this is it. Josiah Coleman. Sorry, I had it marked. Josiah Coleman catches the 5th passing touchdown there from Jamir Holmes for the record. And then one more run here. Well, after Jefferson scores one more time. Again, that's the Jefferson cheerleaders. Shout out to them. And then Terrence Smith, he's a converted wide receiver running back. Watch him after he breaks this, Shannon. We talked about this last week. The legs he has are so long, and he's out as soon as he gets to that corner.
Yeah, just his stride is going to be, it's going to
He looks like they've had
like a gazelle.
They've had some really good 100-meter teams or 4x100 meters and track teams in the last few years. You might see him out there this year.
So how many touchdowns?
5 touchdown passes was the school record for Jamir Holmes. Congratulations to Jamir. Coach called in Friday night after the game, his first victory with the Yellow Jackets, and talking about how a lot of people say he's a big kid, right? So a lot of people are like, he's out of position, shouldn't be playing there, and then he breaks school record passes. So for you Shelby folks, R.J. George like. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen Holmes. He's a big kid. He's like a defensive end or something.
Yeah. That's what everybody tells me.
6'5".
Everybody tells me he's a defensive end, defensive tackle type size kid. But well,
in high school,
he's out there
Kevin,
slinging it.
in high school, the fallback is you try to put your best athlete at quarterback.
And I hate that.
Yeah.
I really do hate that. A lot of coaches and teams do that, and I would put it this way: would you rather have your best athlete? Would you rather have Randy Moss throwing to Tom Brady, or would you rather have Tom Brady throw it to Randy Moss? And that's what, when people say that, I'm like, you better look at that backup quarterback because he's probably got an arm and could probably run the offense. If you stick your studs out there at wide receiver, that'll look a lot better than he can't throw it to himself. You know, Cam Newton can't throw it to. Well, he can't throw it to anybody, but can't throw it to himself either.
I didn't say I agreed with it. I said that's the general high school philosophy. Is we're going to put our best athlete there because he gets the ball on every snap. Right. Well, what about your center? Yeah. He's the guy that has to get it to him. So, you need good people there. And a receiver who can actually catch the ball is important, as we've seen in many programs. If you hadn't got anybody to catch it, it doesn't matter how good you can throw it.
He's listed at 6'5", 215.
Yeah.
He's bigger than 215.
Yeah.
He's big.
He's probably 225. But if I was going to guess.
Yeah. So what would you recruit him as?
A
quarterback?
Depends what
or defensive end?
I haven't linebacker. I haven't seen him throw the ball in person. A lot of people at 6'5", 2 something's going to put you at defensive end, probably. That's the pretty. Of course, like Coach said, you never know. You work hard enough at throwing, you get your break somewhere. All you need is one coach that believes you're a quarterback. And that's all. And then you'll go play.
Leftwich up at Marshall, Byron Leftwich. That was a big. Yeah, he was a big guy.
That's fair to say. It may not be the quarterback at Clemson, but it could be the quarterback at Johnson C. Smith.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's take a quick break, get resettled. We'll come back and start predicting this week's games. JP, you ready in there? Did I get a thumbs up? Anything from him? JP, you ready in there?
He's good.
Batman's ready. We'll be back in a minute. KTC
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price. With names like The Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General, and Travelers. Drop by the office today at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
There's nothing worse than going to bed and finding bed bugs. What do? You call H&H Termite Pest Control and Waterproofing in Shelby. They'll put your bed bugs to sleep for good. And call H&H to treat your yard for mosquitoes. And just announced, H&H Waterproofing was named the best of the best for the second straight year. H&H Termite Pest Control and Waterproofing, 520 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at hhpci.com.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays, October 1st through November 20th. New! Tickets limited. Save your dates while supplies last. New! Gates open at 9:30 a.m. Arrive early. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Don't miss it! Don't miss the Renaissance Festival! Sponsored by Visit Lake Norman. Visit Lake Norman, the lakeside of Charlotte. Huzzah!
Bessemer City 2022 Summer Concert Series presents Blackwater Band, September the 24th in Centennial Park in Bessemer City. DJ Tim Johnson from WLON 107.5 The Morning Show will be the MC. Tim will start at 4:30 p.m. Blackwater Band will start at 6:30 p.m. Hot rods, street rods, and classic cars in a night of family fun in Bessemer City for the 2022 Summer Concert Series.
Buying a home can seem like a daunting task, but it's really not with Homestar Financial. With a short phone call, we can get you pre-approved. Once pre-approved, you're free to shop for the home of your dreams. At Homestar Financial, we can tell you the price or payment range that you qualify for. Your realtor will appreciate that you took the time to get pre-approved. So call me today. Let's make buying a home a dream come true. With Homestar Financial, it's quick and easy with no surprises at closing. Call today.
For 45 years, the K family at Numbers Bookkeeping and Income Tax Service have been taking care of your bookkeeping needs in Shelby, Cleveland County, and the surrounding area. And they want to take this time to say thank you. See Noah K for all of your bookkeeping and income tax needs. That's Numbers Bookkeeping and Income Tax Service, 707 South Lafayette Street in Shelby. Call 704-484-2783. They are there for you.
And we are back on the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame show with Kevin, Dennis, and Shannon. they're looking at, I think, highlights right now.
Yeah,
well,
JP, what's that highlight of right there?
That's a horse. Looks like two dogs. Is that that dog or is that a horse?
Horse. Can't read it.
Oh, it's a goat.
What does it say?
If you've misplaced your dog and goat, they are both on the upper campus at this time.
Now that implies that the same person lost both of these fellas right here. Yeah. And
they don't be in charge.
And then they're interested in coming back and getting them.
That's a boxer, right? Is that a boxer?
That's a pit bull.
That's a pit bull. No, that's not a boxer.
Yeah.
Boxers are bigger.
Shannon shared this picture earlier today up at Thomas Jefferson. They had a goat and a pit bull hanging out together in the parking lot, and nobody has.
That's hilarious.
There's all kind of captions and fun thoughts we have about that one. What's going on up there? Keep it off the football field, right, Burns folks? Keep the goats out.
It is fair time.
It's fair time.
Yeah.
Crest Chargers working hard there in the study hall. There's Shannon.
That's your quarterback and your starting receiver right there.
Receivers don't need to do nothing but go, right?
That's it.
All right, Shannon, we didn't get to some of the highlights for Crest. I didn't get it finished this week, but we can pull them up, the actual non-production of it. Dennis, hit the computer there for me. Computer button for me. This is the Crest Chargers band afterwards.
No, that's Ashbrook.
Oh, that's Ashbrook?
Yeah, I was on their side.
Oh. It's an Ashbrook drum line. Play a little bit for them. All right, Shannon wanted everybody to see this play.
Yeah, this is just a great play right here by Husky throwing it up the green and went up and caught it. And
he got mossed.
Yeah, he did. That was and his mother, she does the photography over there, and she got a great, either her or Lamont Carpenter got a great picture of that jump right there in midair.
Yeah.
And he got up, just how high he got, that was just incredible football play. So, yeah, that's a deadly combination the Chargers have going into the Big South Conference now.
And he's starting to pick up some offers from schools such as Appalachian State.
Yeah, both of them just juniors, too.
Yeah.
Where'd Willie go? Where did he go to college?
Charlotte.
Big Willie.
Big was Southern Miss, wasn't
it? What, Charlotte?
Southern Miss, maybe, or Mississippi
I thought it was
State or somewhere down there.
I saw. I got some of his cards actually down there. I found a couple the last few weeks.
Well, he's your neighbor. Just walk next door and ask.
Yeah,
him.
go.
Think he's got any of his own cards?
This play here is just end around to Malachi Addison. It just in for the easy score.
Found a good job finding the hole there.
And if you think you can guard Green, then you got to leave Addison open.
Yeah, Addison, in my opinion, he's the dark horse on that team. Nobody pays him attention because of that success Green has, and he's gonna break out one of these games, and it's gonna be interesting. And again, Ashbrook, all they did was just run the same play up the middle every time, and that's when I missed the play there. So. Yeah, Ashbrook, it seems like they run the same play at the middle, just trying to hope something would happen. And, yeah, you obviously it didn't. I'm just being honest.
That's your analysis of it.
Yeah, that's it. They ran the same right or left.
I feel you.
Yeah, and Carmelo Best, that's him right there, number 4.
They became predictable.
Yeah, they did. And the Best kid, he's actually a really good running back, and Ashbrook's really big offensive line, but this was actually earlier in the game. Then Crest figured it out. Yeah, Crest figured it out, and they just stopped it. So,
okay. Well, there's your highlights from last week's Crest and Ashbrook game. Crest won. They're in the end here on KTC broadcast, and we'll have Crest at Kramer tonight. WOHS 101.5 FM. 1390 AM. Newton Conover and Lincoln tonight. They're on the LincolnCounty.com game of the week with Tom Sinafani is over there tonight with no Bulldogs. Him and David Potters. Tom's going to be helping out doing the color commentating and keeping stats. East Rutherford and Chase tonight. East Rutherford, is this their first county matchup again since returning to the varsity? Okay, so they'll get to go over to Chase tonight. You get to see how good the Trojans have been. And then Cherryville is hosting East Gaston tonight. We'll also have highlights of Bessemer City and Highland Tech and West Lincoln at Maiden. All right, guys, let's start off. Elkin and East Wilkes. We'll do these quick on the right sides, or these bottom ones, these mountain teams. Unless Shannon does have a breakdown, he might. I don't know.
None of these. Dennis, I think East Wilkes. I think they got a 4-1 or maybe a 4-1 record or something like that. But anyway, I think East Wilkes wins this one 42-14. Elkin is struggling this year.
Well, yeah. Joel Hull is an old Crest Chargers, the principal up there at Elkin, but that's not going to help them out. They're not the Chargers. East Wilkes, I'm going to go 34, and Elkin, I'm going to go 14.
All right, Forbush will be at West Wilkes tonight. We'll get all the Wilkes here. Forbush 0-4 at 1-4 West Wilkes. Something's got to give there.
Yeah, it's got to give, and both teams are struggling. They've got their problems, and I think it's going to be a close game. I think West Wilkes will win at home 21-20.
Wow, close, huh?
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's going to be that good. I've got it West Wilkes 14 and West Wilkes Blackhawks 14 and the Forbush Falcons 6.
Surrey Central Eagles at the Wilkes Central Eagles. Surrey 1-3, Wilkes 3-2. Shannon.
Again, going with the home team here, Wilkes Central 28-24. And I think games like this, when you got teams that are, close there in the middle of the pack of that conference, I think that's you're going to start separating each other. So I think are the good from the bad. I'm going to pick Wilkes in this one 28-14.
Well, I've got the score a little bit different. I've got Wilkes Central 24 and Surrey Central 20 in a close game.
All right, East Surrey 5-0, hosting North Surrey 1-3.
Yeah, East Surrey is one of the Final Four teams last year in the West. They were in the Final Two. They were in that game in the semifinals against Shelby. East Surrey, they've got a good team, good program up there. Coach Loman does a great job. I got them winning this one 49-6 over North Surrey.
I've got East Surrey Cardinals beating the Greyhounds tonight by a score of 42-3.
42-3.
We got to give them something.
I just didn't know if you knew they had a field goal kicker or not.
It'll be a 55-yard field goal.
I didn't say they kicked a field goal. I just said they got 3 points, Kevin.
Mitchell, 3-2, hosting 0-4 Owen Warhorses, Shen.
Yeah, Owen, I think, if I remember from last week, they're only averaging like 3 or 5 points a game.
Yeah, not very good.
Yeah, so
In 4 games, they have 73, so they've upped it.
Okay. But again, I don't think it's going to matter. Mitchell should win this one pretty easily, 56-6 over Owen.
Wow. I'm not quite thinking Mitchell's going to win that big, but I would go with 34-13 for Mitchell.
East Lincoln travels to Statesville tonight in a big conference matchup. This is the top 2 teams last year in this conference. East Lincoln 4-0, Statesville 2-2 this year. Last season, let me pull that up for you guys, tell you the score. Last season, East Lincoln lost 23-6. Shen?
East Lincoln's averaging 36 points a game. They're giving up 5. Quarterback Tyler Mizell, he's averaging just over 100 yards in passing with 10 touchdowns. And Christopher Daly, he has 100 yards per game. He has 6 touchdowns. Statesville coming in, they're averaging 17 points, but they're also giving up 17 points. Their quarterback Noah Owens, he's averaging 94 a game. I think this will be a tough game, but East Lincoln, they've got a little swagger this year. They're a lot of people said they're the best 3A team in the West. I think they go to Statesville and pull out the win, 28-14.
Well, I think East Lincoln's got a little bit more swagger than that. I have them winning 34-14 over Statesville.
0-4 Ford at 0-4 West Iredale. Hopefully, there's no tie in this one.
You looked at my scores.
Yeah, West Iredale won last year, 16-8. Shannon.
I think this will be an interesting game. Both teams are only averaging 8 points a game, but they're both giving up over 40, so something's going to have to give there. The 4 quarterback is Aiden Landrum. He is averaging 150 yards a game in the air. So by that, for that stat, and that they're playing West Iredale, I'm going with Ford in this one on the road for their first win, 21-20 over West Iredale.
Okay. I thought started to go 0-0 as a tie, but I thought, well, no, we won't do that since Kevin gave it away. But I think the score is not going to be quite as exciting as the one that you had, Shannon. I think it's going to be 14-10, and I'm going to go with West Iredell since they're at home.
North Lincoln 0-4. It's been a long time since we've said that about the Knights.
Yeah.
They travel to Hickory, who's 2-2. Last year, North Lincoln won 21-6 versus the Red Tornadoes. Shannon?
Well, North Lincoln, their quarterback is Connor Carson. The running back is Cody Morris, and Cody's averaging 80 yards a game on the ground. They're only averaging 10 points a game, but they're just giving up 21 points a game. Hickory comes in averaging 29, giving up 29, and obviously from their record being 2-2. And I'll go ahead and say this. If North Lincoln loses this game, I don't think they're going to be able to salvage the season. And,
stick a fork in them.
Yeah, I really do, because now you'll be 0-5. And so I think Hickory wins this one by more than 2 touchdowns. But again, Dennis, last week's score against Statesville, North Lincoln put up a great fight, but they were playing at home, so that may, it was the first game on the turf. But I think Hickory wins this one 42-14.
Well, I've got Hickory winning for the various reasons that you pointed out. They're at home, but I have the North Lincoln tonight scoring 14, but the Hickory Red Tornadoes scoring 34.
North Iredell at 1-3 is at home, hosting St. Stephen's, who's 2-2 this year. Last year, North Iredell won 15-6, guys.
St. Stephen's are averaging 26 a game, giving up 23 a game. They're led by quarterback Peyton Young. He's averaging 150 yards a game. He has 6 touchdowns. And running back Bryson Gaither, he's averaging 88 yards a game with 7 touchdowns. North Iredell, they're coming in at with 1-3. They're averaging 13 a game, giving up over 30. So I'm going to go with St. Stephen's here on the road. I think they've got the better team. I've got them winning 28-14.
Well, I'm going with St. Stephen's, the Indians, in this one, and I have them winning by a score of 21-10.
All right, a little random one here I threw in here for you guys because we ran out of teams. But West Charlotte Lions at the West Mecklenburg Hawks. West Charlotte is 2-3. West Mech 4-1. Last year, West Charlotte forfeited all their games, so it doesn't show a score. It doesn't show the score. Oh, well, there it is. West Charlotte actually won last year 62-13, but it was a forfeit.
All right, so who played West Mac from around here? Was it Huss? Hunter Huss played them this year?
I think it was Huss, yeah.
Yeah. I think, even though West Mac has the better record, I like West Charlotte in this one.
West Mac beat Ashbrook 14-9.
Ashbrook's who it was, okay? Well, by them just beating Ashbrook 14-9 is really not telling me anything it is telling me a lot, but it's because I didn't think Ashbrook, they were just struggling last week. So, anyway, West Charlotte, I think, is going to be too athletic. I think they're going to win this one. I got it 42-13 over West Mac.
West Charlotte had a little controversy about their coach early in the season, and he was late in joining the team, if you will. I'll put it that way. As far as coaching, he's back doing what he's doing right now. They have just opened a brand new campus. It was open the first day, but they had their ceremony. A new school building. If you know where West Charlotte is, Crest used to be in the league with them. When you play over there, it's always a interesting atmosphere, but they do not travel well. They may go over to West Mech since that's their neighbors, but I figure it's going to be West Charlotte 28 and West Mech 14.
And West Charlotte coach has a man bun. Terry Grayson told me that just now.
He has a what?
A man bun.
Okay.
Where's a man bun on the side?
Well,
how about that?
That's going to cost him 14 points. Then I'll have to take that.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
You gotta lose points for that, right?
Is that anything like a cinnamon bun?
No.
Anyway, it depends what neighborhood you're in.
That's it. It's true. This day and time, you never know.
Avery County 1-4 at Drone 4-1. Wildcats having a pretty good season this year. They've beat Thomas Jefferson, beat Patton, beat Highland Tech, beat Owen, but lost by 1 point in overtime to East Burke, 1 point away from being undefeated. Drawn Wildcat, Shannon.
Well, I mean, they've won the games that's on their schedule. I'll give them that. Again, I think playing a team like Avery County, I think it's going to be a close ball game. I don't, anyway, let me just say that.
Heard my baby sister's buying a car. You'll need my secret.
JP, you playing?
Anyway, I already
Marshall's in
used
there?
Capital One Auto Navigator. Found my.
Hey, it is us.
JP accepts your apology.
Plus, somebody got mad at me about drone.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, I'm gonna say Avery County goes into drone and wins. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 17-16 game.
What?
Ooh. Yes, mark it down.
No drinking before the show, Shannon. I've told you that before.
Back to reality.
All right, Dennis.
Well, look, listen, drones played. Who'd you say? Thomas Jefferson, Highland Tech.
They beat them 120-0.
Owen.
Beat
Who
them
else?
55-8.
But who's Avery played?
Patton, and that's their 4 games, and they lost it by 1 to East Burke.
But who did Avery play? What
I don't
strong strength of schedule did they bring out?
They got beat 14-0 by Cherryville.
That tells me a lot.
They're going to go up to drone and put on a clinic. 17-16.
A clinic.
No. Drone has recently installed a wood shed out back, and they're going to take Avery out there, and it's going to be a score of 28-7.
Avery County lost to Cherryville 14-0. Wilkes Central 49-13. Hampton, Tennessee 36-27. McDowell 46-21. Lost all those and then beat Rosman 51-13 last week. Must got one of them Crest transfers in like y'all do. Pine Lake Prep at Winston-Salem Prep. Pine Lake Prep 4-0 after beating Jefferson, Bessemer City, Starmount, and Mountain Island Charter. Winston-Salem Prep, on the other hand, 1-2. They beat Parkland and lost 49-0 to Walkertown and 33-14 to Lake Norman Charter. Shannon?
One thing about Pine Lake Prep is their defense. They're averaging 21 a game offensively. They're only giving up less than 1 point per game on their defense.
As soon as you said that, last year, Pine Lake Prep won 20-0.
Over Winston-Salem?
Over Winston-Salem Prep.
Pine Lake Prep, their quarterback is Nick Reed. He's averaging 121 yards a game. He has 6 touchdowns. Their running back, Noah Murphy, he provides the ground game for them. Winston-Salem Prep, they're averaging 13 a game, giving up 34. Their quarterback, Jace Covington, he averages 140 yards in the air, but I think he's all they have for Winston-Salem Prep. Pine Lake Prep should win this one on the road 35-6.
Ooh. Well, I give them a little more fight at home for Winston-Salem Prep, but I do have Pine Lake Prep winning tonight 28-12.
Winston-Salem Carver at Bishop Mcginnis, both 1-4. Last year, Carver won 28-6. Their only win this year for Carver so far is Highland Tech, 42-0. Lost to Northmore, Atkins, McMichael, and Christ the King. Bishop Mcginnis lost to John Paul Catholic out to a one-on-one football game. But that was weird to watch. South Stokes beat Graham, lost to North Raleigh, and Community School of Davidson. Shannon.
Carver, they're only averaging 15, giving up 26. Bishop Mcginnis, they're averaging 21, but they're giving up over 40. I'm going to go with Bishop Mcginnis in this one over Carver. Again, what's going on at Carver is it's just mind-blowing to me. I don't understand that. But Bishop Mcginnis 35, Carver 24.
Well, based on past performance, which you shouldn't, I'm going with Carver over Bishop Mcginnis by a score of 21-14.
Mountain Island Charter tonight hosts Community School of Davidson. Mountain Island's 2-1. Community School is 3-1. Community Schools beat Bessemer City, Thomas Jefferson, and Bishop Mcginnis while losing to Starmount. Mountain Island Charter, on the other hand, has beat Corvion Community, Union Academy, and lost 30-0 to Pine Lake Prep. Shannon just got done talking about their Defense. Shannon?
Yeah, Mountain Island Charter, they're averaging 19, giving up 15. Their quarterback is Tiger Coffin. He's averaging 115 yards in the air, and then running back Nate Eaton, he's averaging 95 yards on the ground. Community School of Davidson, they're averaging 52 points a game. They're giving up 26. They're led by quarterback A.J. Sirianni. He's averaging 384 yards per game. He already has 20 touchdowns on the season. Community School of Davidson should win this one pretty easily. I've got it 49-28 over Mountain Island. This isn't the same Mountain Island Charter from previous or from years past.
No, it's a different crowd this year. I have Community School of Davidson winning this one 42-10 over Mountain Island.
All right, JP, ready for a break? What you doing in there? Looking up scores, stat lines, depth charts, trying to figure out where to put your money on the game tonight.
No.
You got some good bets going down on the street, the back alley.
Actually, I do have a bet going down in a future game. Shelby versus Burns.
Oh.
Ooh.
What are you betting? A lot of barbecue sandwich?
Are you taking Burns this week, JP?
No, I'm no.
Good answer.
You ought to.
They're not playing.
Hey, they'll cover the spread this week.
Probably.
Right, we'll be back
But it'll be pimento cheese spread.
We'll be back in a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price. With names like the Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General, and Travelers. Drop by the office today at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
J.D. Pilot Cars LLC reminds listeners that many more veterans will be returning home over the next few years, and many are local. These heroes have elite military training and valuable professional skills, but they also need jobs. That's why J.D. Pilot Cars LLC is encouraging all local businesses. Let's make it the year that we hire smart and hire vets. That's from J.D. Pilot Cars LLC, where they say service isn't just a courtesy, it's a commitment. For more information, call 864-490-8128. That's 864-490-8128 for J.D. Pilot Cars LLC at 304 Shalimar Drive in Gaffney.
There's no use to be cold this coming winter. Head on into Today's Pro in Shelby for warmth and comfort. From gas logs to fireplaces to inserts and more. With name brands like Empire, Monessen, and Buckstone. Be ready for old man winter today with a stop at Today's Pro in Shelby. And they also do service calls. And don't forget they fill those propane cylinders. Just call 704-600-8393. 704-600-8393. Today's Pro, 1325 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at thetodayspro.com.
50 years of recipes and still going strong at the new Beehive Cafe in Shelby. The famous Barnett Beehive recipes are still buzzing. Check out the daily specials. On Mondays and Fridays, 2-piece dark meat. Tuesday, gizzards or livers. Wednesday, steak and gravy. Thursday, pork chop plates. All served with one side and drink, just $8 a plate. Also, old-fashioned hamburgers and hot dogs. Home-style potato wedges, too. The new Beehive Cafe. Same location, 501 North Post Road in Shelby. Open 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. Call 980-552-9381. Like them on Facebook, too.
Why pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars for a new piece of equipment when you may only use it a few times? No use to, especially now with the C&H Equipment Rentals, now open in Boiling Springs. You'll find all you need in equipment rentals, and they are an authorized U-Haul dealer. Lawn and garden equipment, pressure washers, air compressors, generators, and now just arrived, aerial lifts. That's the new C&H Equipment Rentals, 332 North Main Street in Boiling Springs. Call 980-220-1221. Open Monday through Friday, 7 to 5, Saturdays 8 till noon. Online at chrentalsllc.com.
Keep up with this. KTC Broadcasting and WhatsUpShopper.com are giving away three $333 shopping sprees for a total of $999 in shopping sprees. All you have to do is register at one of our participating sponsors, including Classic Volkswagen on East Franklin Boulevard, Gastonia, at Park for Family Feeds, Highway 18 North in Bellwood, at Carter Chevrolet, West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, at Bridges Hardware on West King Street in Kings Mountain, at the Falston Pharmacy, Highway 18 in Falston, at Cummings Furniture on West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, Parker Farm Service on Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain, at Butler's Tower on East King Street in Kings Mountain, at Family Auto, Highway 74 Bypass East in Shelby, and at Flooring America on Slater Street in Kings Mountain. The drawings will be held Friday, October 28th. See your local stores for details. Register today, sponsored by KTC Broadcasting and WhatsUpShopper.com.
Trusted, tried, and true. Those three words represent the highest standards for the Kawasaki Mule side-by-sides. Trusted means being built strong and built to last. Tried means being put to the test by hardworking people doing the toughest jobs. And true means staying authentic to the roots that run 30 years deep. Kawasaki Mule, the definition of trusted, tried, and true. See the Kawasaki Mule at Full Throttle Power Sports, located at 101 Indian Walk in Lowell.
And we're back on the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame show with Shannon, Dennis, and Kevin. I don't think they realize that we're back because they have yet to put on their ears. They're still talking.
We realize.
Oh, Kevin knows, but
we're
Dennis
talking,
and Shannon
We're talking
don't.
about Dennis eating pop, Charles Barkley eating. Well, apparently Dennis, Shannon, I don't know if you know this. Dennis did the Dennis did the popcorn trick on Charles Barkley. He just said.
Popcorn trick.
You don't know the popcorn trick? No. You don't watch enough that 70s show and a lot of comedies. Anyway, I'll explain it to you later for you folks for you adults at home. All right, let's pick some more games. Bunker Hill, if CJ had his 14th birthday this week, and he's decided he's just going to kiss the dogs. No. Shannon, I done told you.
Hey, I've seen his girl. She's not that bad.
I done told you, Shannon. He's out here playing with the little What's Up Shopper dog. Okay, so now we've got Bunker Hill at West Caldwell. Mm-hmm. Shannon, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. So after a tough game last week, that many thought that Lincoln should have won, Bunker Hill comes in undefeated. They're averaging 28 a game, giving up 18. Quarterback Reddick Robinson averaging 150 in the air. Running back Jason Willis is averaging 211 yards on the ground with 6 touchdowns. So that's a good balance that Bunker Hill brings in. Now, West Caldwell, they're averaging 16, giving up over 60. They replaced their quarterback 2 games ago, and his name is Jalen Patterson. This kid, in 2 games, he's averaging 244 yards with 8 touchdowns. So not a bad replacement.
Averaging 8 touchdowns?
He has averaging 244. He has 8 touchdowns in 2 games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if West Caldwell's defense was successful as Jalen, they would be undefeated, but not that ain't going to happen. Bunker Hill wins this one. I got it 35-22.
Well, I've got Bunker Hill winning this one 28-21 over the West Caldwell Warriors.
Bunker Hill 4-0, but they struggled last week with Lincoln. Last year, Bunker Hill won 40-0 in this contest. All right, RS Central goes up to Brevard this evening. RS Central, the Hilltoppers, are 2-3. Brevard is 2-3. RS has beaten West Caldwell and Chesney. Brevard has beaten East Rutherford and Pisgah last year. Let's see if these 2 teams played. I'm pretty sure they did. 41-30. RS Central won.
Yeah, I think this will be a pretty good matchup for Brevard. Quarterback Colt Swicegood, he's averaging 95 yards in the air, and they have a running back, P.J. DeShanters. He leads the ground attack. He's averaging 61 yards on the ground. The Blue Devils are averaging 19 a game, giving up 23. Now, RS comes in averaging 24. They're giving up 34. They're led by running backs Malachi Costin and Marcus McKinney. And I think their quarterback, Trey Shearer, got hurt last week, so I don't know if he's playing tonight. And if he doesn't, that could be a tough blow for the Hilltoppers. So I'm going to go with Brevard at home, 28-24 over RS.
Oh, okay. The Brevard Blue Devils, I think, have the advantage because of the injuries that you pointed out. I'm going to say the Brevard Blue Devils beat the RS Central Hilltoppers tonight, 24-14.
4-1 Hendersonville Bearcats lost. They beat North and they beat East Henderson, but lost to the West Side. They host 3-2 Polk County tonight. Polk County on the season has beat Newton Conover, Landrum, and Patton, but both teams lost to West Henderson and Christ School. Polk County lost to West Henderson 40-26. Hendersonville lost to West Henderson 34-20. Last year, these 2 teams, Hendersonville won 56-25, but it looks more evenly matched up this year. Shannon, what you got?
So Polk County coming in, they're averaging 35, giving up 26. Their quarterback's Casey Beeler. He's averaging 160 yards in the air. He has 8 touchdowns. And their running back, Angus Weaver, he's averaging 168 yards on the ground. He has 11 touchdowns. Hendersonville comes in averaging 42. They're only giving up 16 a game. They're led by running back Hezi Rudisel, who's averaging over 100 yards on the running game on the ground, and quarterback Elijah Gibbs. He's averaging 203 yards with 10 touchdowns. I think this will be a better game than what most people think, but I believe Hendersonville will be too strong in the end for Polk County. I think it's going to be 49-34, Hendersonville over Polk County.
Well, I like Coach Hollis up at Polk County, but I don't think he has quite the athletes this year that he's had in the past. Hendersonville is pretty closely matched with them, but I have Hendersonville winning this one 28-24.
Two good running backs in this game, too.
All right.
Witherspoon and Weaver.
Shelby is hosting Jefferson tonight at 7 o'clock. That'll be over by 7:15. Shannon, well, let's do this real quick. Shelby plays Cherryville, who they beat 70-0 last week. They play Jefferson this week, Highland Tech next week, and Bessemer City the next. 4 straight 1A games. What, I'm asking both of you, will be the grand total in those 4 games? This is how we're going to pick these. The grand total. They already got 70 to nothing, and they got 3 games to go.
They got Cherryville,
Thomas, Jefferson Tech, Highland Tech, and Bessemer City next 3 games. They've already got 70 in the bank, nothing.
So you want the total points?
I want the total 200 to 12 or whatever you think it's going to be.
254 points for Shelby.
Okay. How many are they going to give up?
Oh, give up?
Yeah.
28.
Shannon?
Oh, wait a minute. Thomas Jefferson this week.
Yep. They're already up 70-0.
They beat Cherryville last week.
Yeah.
Then you got Bessemer, Highland Tech, and who's the other one?
That's it. Jefferson, Highland Tech, and Bessemer.
Okay, so
4 games. If they score 70 every week, it's 280.
Yeah. I'm going to say Shelby 266 to 7.
To 7. Yeah. All right, last year. Let's look at it last year. Let's see what it was. See how close y'all got to that. What you think?
It wasn't Cherryville score, 21 on them?
Cherryville was up on them early. And they did end up scoring 21 on them. Added together last year, let's see, 63 plus 55 is 118. Plus 72 is 190. Plus 63, 253. Dennis missed it by 1 point. And they gave up 28. Dennis, without even looking, you nailed. Wow. He missed it by 1 point, Shannon.
Wow.
Last year it was 253 to 28. Dennis guessed 254 to 28. I think he looked this up before I asked him.
No.
They had no idea.
How can you hide genius?
You can't. You just sit him in the corner.
They won't even let me in the casino at Kingstown.
Card counter. Yeah.
All right, next up, let's get out of that mess. Let's go to the Big South 3A. Forest View Jaguars and the Ashbrook Green Wave tonight in Gastonia. Shannon?
Forest View comes in at 2-2. They're averaging 8 points a game, giving up over 25. They're led by quarterback Jackson Hill. He's averaging 101 yards in the air, and running back Christian Holland, he's averaging 75 yards. Now, again, I saw Ashbrook play last week against Crest, and from the eye test, Ashbrook looks like they could play with anybody.
Yeah.
They just rely on the same play too much. And at the Crest game, you could see that, and it got kind of disappointing there at the end because you wanted to see some type of, because Dennis, I'm telling you, their linemen were huge.
Oh yeah, always have been.
Yeah, and they had athletes everywhere, and it was like it's like the definition of insanity. They kept doing the same thing over and over, expecting
Well, that's
different
what's
results.
held them back in the past, Shannon, was, let's say, coaching.
Yeah.
And the fact that the athletes were good for about a quarter.
Yeah, and they've got a really good running back in Carmelo Best. So I'm going to go with Ashbrook here at home. If they found a passing play they can throw in there, but anyway, Ashbrook 21, Forest View. And Kevin, I'm serious. They had all 11 guys from Crest on their defense. They were they were probably 7 yards off the ball.
Well,
middle field's wide open.
My question is why are we still the only part of the country that still is so dedicated to the triple option? Like we got and it's all a bunch of teams that aren't any good. And you sit there, if you're an Ashbrook grad, you got a 3A high school, 1,200 students, and you can't get anybody out here to throw a pass and catch one. It's got to be aggravating for some of those folks. And
and the quarterback can run. Now, I'm not saying anything against him.
Yeah,
he could fly, but when he threw the ball, he short armed it. Yeah, like he was throwing a shot put. It's like, like you said, Kevin, you've had all summer, all spring to figure out, okay, can this guy throw a football? If not, we need to find somebody who can.
Two things. I don't think anybody develops kids throwing these footballs coming up through middle school or Pop Warner or any of that. They're just like Dennis said, let's put our best athlete at the quarterback and run the option.
Yeah, that's true.
And take
that's
off.
True.
And then you have schools that have traditional, like really good baseball teams, and it's kind of like for Cherville fans have always wondered, why can't we get one kid that throws 85 come over here and play quarterback, and they don't, and you get a lot of schools like that. So it's kind of weird how the pop, like we always argue, is Shelby a 3A, a 2A school? Should they be playing? They definitely shouldn't be playing Highland Tech and Thomas Jefferson. But then you look at North Gaston. Should they be playing Kings Mountain right now? They have the same number of students, and they're going to get destroyed. So it's a hard way for them to balance or figure out a way to do what's best. Kings Mountain is at North Gaston this week. Shannon, what's the spread on that one?
Well, and let me go back. In all fairness, Ashbrook didn't run that same play over, but they ran it a lot. So anyway, Kings Mountain, North Gaston. Kings Mountain comes in averaging 30, giving up just 10 points a game. Quarterback Lamont Littlejohn, I think he was their student of the week student of the month in Kings Mountain this week or this month. So congratulations to him. He's averaging 158 yards per game. He has 7 touchdowns. Running back Caleb Holland and Teddy Jeffries, they're leading the rushing attack. And from North Gaston, T.J. Belton and J.J. Gordon are their go-to guys on offense, but they're just averaging 7 points a game, giving up over 30. I don't think this game's going to be close, Dennis. I think Kings Mountain will win this one easily, 49-6 over North Gaston.
Only 49?
Yeah, I know.
I've got it 63
right.
to 7, Kings Mountain.
I think that's more accurate.
I think so, too. I'm trying to be nice.
Us.
And the kid who got hurt at Kings Mountain last week, I think it's not as serious as they thought it was.
Good.
So.
Hunter Huss 1-3 at South Point, who's 4-0. Speaking of the same plays over and over, Red Raiders, but again, you talk about coaching. They at least the kids know what they're going to do when they get there.
They knew in the 8th grade what they were going to do.
They come out of the womb knowing what they're going to do.
Do the Huskies take out the Raiders tonight, Shannon?
No. They come into this game, and when's the last time they beat them? When's the last time they beat South Point?
Don't know. Terry's our historian.
Yeah,
he's not sitting.
It's been a long time, and they're averaging 22 a game. They're giving up over 40, around 40. Quarterback Javarion Brown, he's averaging 85 yards in the air, just shy of 100 yards on the ground. Again, I think he's really the only guy they've got on offense that is very productive. He just don't have much help around him now. South Point comes in averaging 41, giving up 11. Just looking ahead, that's going to be a barn burner with them in Kings Mountain. They're very similar. They're very similar stats. But anyway, they're led by Cam Medlock. He's averaging 125 yards. He has 10 touchdowns. Patrick Blee, he's also averaging 100 yards. South Point, I think, wins this one, easily. And I think it goes back to what you were talking about. They know what to expect when they go to South Point. And I think when they play a team like Huss knows in the back of their mind they're probably better, and I think that has a lot to do with it. Anyway, I think South Point wins this one 45-21 over Huss.
Not to mention you're 7 points behind when you get off the bus down there.
At South Point.
At South
exactly
Point.
Right. Yeah.
If Hunter Huss is to take South Point out tonight, it will be after the game for hamburgers. But I would say that South Point wins this one 48-14.
Bandy's is at East Burke tonight. Bandy's is 1-3. East Burke 2-2. Bandy's beat Ford 24-15. East Burke won in overtime over Drone by 1 and Patton 28-0. Last year, these two teams, I'll pull that up. East Burke and Bandy's. East Burke won 36-32 in a barn burner, Shannon.
Yeah, even this early in the conference play, these types of teams right here are crucial, or these types of games, are crucial. Bandy's averaging 22, giving up 26. Quarterback Wyatt Weston, he's averaging over 100 yards, 122 yards in the air. And they have a running back, Elliott Spicer, who helps. He averaging 51 yards on the ground. Now, East Burke comes in averaging 27. They're also giving up 27. Quarterback Ben Maston, running back Caden Buff help them on offense. This should be a close ball game because, again, I mentioned this a while ago, if Bandy's loses this one, that puts them in a very big hole. but if they win now, they're tied with East Burke. So, but I think East Burke will win this one at home. It's going to be close, 28-26 over Bandy's.
Quit looking at my papers, Shannon. I've got East Burke winning this one 28-24.
West Lincoln and Maiden.
Ooh.
West Lincoln's number 6 in our power poll. Maiden number 8. Last year, West Lincoln lost 20-14 at home, and then lost 47-0 in the playoffs at Maiden. This game is in Maiden tonight. Rebels 4-0. Maiden's 3-1 on the season. Do the Rebels get their revenge tonight from last year's 2 losses, Shannon?
I think this will be one of the best games, if not the best game, with the teams around here. West Lincoln comes in averaging 41 a game. They're giving up 12. They're led by running backs Mason Avery and Jalen Winnix, both of them over 100 yards. Mason Avery over 200 yards a game. Big factor for West Lincoln tonight will be the player, their quarterback, Gideon Allen. He's the backup quarterback, and this will be his first start because their starter got hurt, I think, last week. So a big night for him. Maiden
they don't
comes
throw
in.
it much, so
No.
it's running the offense more than anything.
The only reason I mention him, he's my cousin.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I mentioned him.
Oh, okay, well, good luck.
So, but Maiden comes in averaging what a place to get your first start at Maiden, you know. Anyway, Maiden comes in at 30, giving up 37, scoring 37 a game, giving up 19. Quarterback Wesley Thompson, he's averaging 179 yards in the air, but his main go-to guy is Chris Culliver. I don't think he's having such a big year this year. You know, he's averaging 119 yards a game, but he's just not putting up those numbers, you know, that you would think a Power 5 receiver
Well,
would
they're
do.
guarding him a little better.
Maybe, I guess, you know, I don't know. But anyway, but they also have a running back, Ben Gibbs. He's averaging 91 yards on the ground. But I'm going to go with West Lincoln in this one. I'm going to go up there to get the win because I think they've really got something special up there at Vail. So West Lincoln 28, Maiden 21. Be a close game.
Yeah, I like the kid that's a running back. I think he's a real horse. I would say he's a potential Shrine Bowl player. He's playing so well, and I think West Lincoln has it together. Maiden a little iffy this year. I'm going with West Lincoln 24, Maiden 21.
Shannon, you talk about his first start at Maiden. My first start wasn't at Maiden. The first play I ran as a varsity quarterback was at Maiden. And in the season we were down was terrible. We were getting beat. The play we ran, you wouldn't be able to get. Guess what play we ran? I got one play down like 30 against Maiden into the season. Huh?
No, or the only play against your first play?
My first play they called.
Quarterback keeper.
No, probably a dive play, like fullback dive or something.
We called Fumble Rooski to the senior guard. And that was the first varsity play I ever ran as a quarterback.
Who was coaching at this time?
Quarterback.
Come on, Timmy.
We had
to do better than that.
Well, no, we had a pretty good team. They just had a better team. And if I was in there at quarterback, it was way too late. Kent was the quarterback. He could sling. He played at Lenore Ryan. But so yeah, we were down, and I got to go in there, and they wanted to get the ball to this kid. He's wearing like 62 or something. You know, you just can't go in there and put him at tailback and throw him a toss sweep or something.
So this was at the old stadium, not the new.
Yeah, well, they ran out on the bleachers and stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
That was the first play I ever ran on varsity. It's just like, trick play. Here we go. Hope I don't get killed. He got like 2 or 3 yards. It wasn't. He didn't go nowhere. All right. Newton Conover at Lincoln tonight. This is the Lincoln County game of the week. David Potter and Tom Stefani's over getting set up right now. Guys, I think this might be a pretty good game over there in Lincoln Town tonight, Shannon.
Yeah, I think it will. Again, this is one of those games. You got these two teams right there neck and neck in the middle of that conference race, and I think the winner's going to put themselves in a great spot. The loser's going to be in a hole in this one. Newton Conover, they're coming in averaging 41 a game, surprisingly, but they're giving up 22 points per game. Quarterback Aiden Lugan, or how you say his name, Lugenhout or Luang Hot.
For who?
For Newton Conover.
I'll look it up. Go ahead.
Anyway, he's averaging 150 yards in the air. He has 5 touchdowns, and he's got 70 yards on the ground. So he's their one-stop shop up there for Newton Conover. Now, Lincoln comes in. They're only averaging 9 points, giving up 19. But what I think helps him, Dennis, is the game last week against Bunker Hill. You know, a lot of people saying Bunker Hill is one of the better teams around here, and Lincoln went in there and arguably, I know they didn't, but arguably should have won that game, put themselves in the position to win it. And so Andre Bose is their quarterback for Lincoln. He's averaging 108 yards per game. And I like Lincoln at home in this one. I think, they've got something brewing up there in Lincoln. They're starting to get that win, that feel back, especially the game last week. I think that'll really help them. Lincoln 28, Newton Conover 26.
Well, I'm going the opposite of that one. I think Newton Conover is a little bit more offensive in their ability to score. Lincoln is going to play them very tough. I have Newton Conover beating the Lincoln Wolves 24-21.
All right. East Rutherford at Chase tonight. County matchup, Rutherford County. The Trojans have been on a roll. Trojans number 9 in our power poll, 4-0. Haven't played that deep of a schedule yet there, though, Shannon. They haven't been proven maybe yet. They get the Cavaliers tonight, though. Cavaliers still a young team.
Yeah, Chase, they're coming off a bye week last week, and they should be fresh and ready to go tonight. The Trojans are averaging close to 53 points a game, giving up only 7. On the ground, Marquise McCombs, he leads the way with 110 yards and 13 touchdowns. Again, like Culliver, last year McCombs had these, astronomical numbers. But I think what's helping him now, Chase has got people to help him, and that's why they're doing so well. Quarterback Turner McSwain, he's averaging 87 yards in the air for the Trojans, and also the defender Derismo.
Tavon Derismo.
Yeah, so Derismo. So Chase has got a good squad up there. Coach Russ and the Cavaliers are coming in, they're averaging 8 points, giving up 37. Sadly, I don't think this will be close at all for the East Rutherford faithful fans. I'm going to say Chase wins this one easily, 56-0 over East Rutherford.
I have a little more faith in Coach Russ, my new Facebook friend this week. I have him scoring 7 points in this game, Shannon, not 0.
Okay.
But I have the Trojans scoring 64.
I wonder if he coached Russ and Burns. I wonder if he was there. I wonder if
be a Burns rivalry.
Yeah,
there.
I wonder if I don't know
anything about it. Crest on WHS tonight. Now that game is on Waggy, 13:20 a.m. at 107.5 FM. Then tonight on WHS, 101.5 FM and 13:90 a.m. Crest is at Kramer tonight. Crest 3-1, Kramer 2-2. And I got to run down the hall real quick, guys, while y'all go over this one.
Yeah, Dennis, I think Crest are looking to have another big game from quarterback Natavius Husky and wide receiver Javari Green. Husky's averaging 285 yards in the air. He's averaging 63 on the ground. He is a dynamic football player for the Chargers. He has 17 total touchdowns on the year. Green is averaging 162 with 11 touchdowns at the wide receiver position. And Crest is averaging 34 game, giving up 30. Many would look at that and say, well, how are they 3-1, but giving up so many points? Well, because they've put up a lot of points. They found a connection there. Stuart Kramer comes in averaging 30, giving up 35. Quarterback Justin Rockamore, he's averaging 266 in the air with 14 touchdowns, and his main target is Isaiah Johnson and Tyler Ward, both averaging around 85 yards a game. I think this is going to be a shootout, Dennis, but I think Crest wins this one. I think it's going to be 35-28 Crest over Stuart Kramer.
Well, Stuart Kramer sure does have some pretty uniforms.
Yeah.
And they've got a nice campus.
Turf field, too.
Yeah. Rockamore is a very dangerous quarterback. Just doesn't have a lot to go with him there.
Yeah.
And I have the Chargers tonight winning 42-21 over Kramer.
Yeah, and just, I know Kevin's wanting to, I know we ain't got many games left, but just talking about those two teams, if you look at the quarterback and receiver combination with, Crest, Shelby, Burns, they've got that dynamic. They've got that chemistry. And I think that separates them from, and not just them, because I know other teams. East Lincoln's got it with Mizell and their receivers. When you have a good team that can throw the ball, you've got that one go-to guy. That one go-to guy who can go get it. Husky can throw it to Green anytime. At Shelby Lee can throw it to Bridges. At East Lincoln, Mizell can throw it to Beam, I think's his name, or one of the other receivers at Burns. Mooney got that go-to guy in Ryan Thompson. So I think that's what separates these teams in this part of the season, because they're learning to trust those guys more. And again, like with the West Lincoln, you got Mason Avery, who's at 200 yards on the ground. Well, what are you going to do to stop him? And it's things like that I think that really helps these teams around here to be successful year in and year out, because they have that go-to guy that can get it done. And so anyway, I just want to throw that in there.
And some of them have more than one go-to guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were talking earlier about Crest. They've got another player who has come in there who is an alternative to going to Green. So you're going to double team Green.
Yeah.
So what do you do, Shannon? You're coaching Crest. Who do you go to now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the – and the same way it burns. With Ron Thompson, you double him, you got L.J. Allen, who's being a Power 5 recruit here. He's not – and it's just got a lot of good athletes around here.
And Shelby has
Shelby's
several
got
receivers
Keith Hamilton
that can
besides
go to.
Bridges, yeah. And so and Kings Mountain. Yeah, Kings Mountain, their running game this year is fantastic. And that's what is going – that's why I mentioned them as South Point a while ago, because they're so geared to the run, but what separates them is Kings Mountain can throw it. And,
Speaking of South Point and Kings Mountain, Kevin, we don't want to preview that game yet, but that's going to be, as we used to say, a slobber knocker.
Well, that game's going to be interesting, because South Point, everybody in that conference says that Crest, and Kevin's dog's crying in the background if you can hear. Everybody says that that conference is going to be between Kings Mountain and Crest.
Not necessarily.
Now it's going to be a three horse race, because you got South Point coming in and saying, well, now, wait a minute. You can't forget about us. So Kings Mountain still has to play South Point. Crest still has to play South Point.
Correct.
So that's going to be that conference there. That's going to be very interesting to watch. Just like I wish this West Lincoln Maiden game for those up there in Lincoln County, I wish that game was at the end.
Well, here's the thing. You got Kings Mountain, you got South Point, and you got Crest. Now, Kings Mountain is doing very well and ranked number 1. But then South Point's also in there. And Crest is a little bit further behind. As you said, they play one another. All right, let's just go with this and say that Kings Mountain's first, South Point second, Crest is third. And you're another team in the playoffs, and you get that third place team.
You're East Lincoln. East Lincoln in the playoff. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd hate to see, if I'm Crest, I don't want to see East Lincoln coming in. If I'm East Lincoln, I don't want to see Crest coming in, especially that first 2 rounds.
Well, then how do you avoid that? And that's why these games head-to-head will be so important, because the coaches are smart enough to look at the schedule and the other teams and say, we don't want any of this.
Yeah.
And the teams that, you finish second in that conference with East Lincoln, you're going, well, I don't want any of this team over in this conference.
Or even if you go to the 2A ranks, the winner of this conference down here is going to be between Shelby and Burns. So there's going to be a loser.
Do you want to play Chase?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you got Chase at they're probably going to go undefeated this year. I think they will.
Have home field advantage.
And have home field advantage. And now it all depends on that Shelby Burns game. Now you're going to have one of them coming to your house, probably second round.
Yep.
That, you're sitting there thinking, wait a minute, we've had one of the best seasons. You rewarded us with home field. And now we get, Burns coming in or Shelby coming in, the second place team in that conference. And that's going to, that's I don't want to say what the word is.
Stay tuned.
That's going to be.
Stay tuned, folks.
That's bad, but it is but I think it makes or even a West Lincoln. Lincoln finishes, even if they lose tonight, or if they win tonight, go undefeated. Let's say Burns beats Shelby. So Shelby goes to West Lincoln in the second round. It's like, oh my gosh.
Happened before.
It's happened before, and it'll happen again. But but that's how competitive this area is.
Okay, so Maiden becomes second place.
Then you got
team
Maiden. Then you got Maiden there. I forgot about Maiden. Yeah.
And Shelby gets Maiden.
Yeah.
Maiden comes to Shelby.
Maiden goes to Burns. When that's what I like especially when you get in these later rounds and you see these teams. It's like, everybody's looking at Shelby's record at 2-3 right now. It's like, oh, Shelby's having a bad year. Go play them and see how bad a year they're having. They're actually getting it together now. And you look at Burns, and I know Coach Devine up there. I know they're off this week, but they're sitting there saying, we've got a legitimate shot here to do something very special for this high school and everything else. And I think that's if they beat Shelby, now they got to play Maiden in the second round.
Yeah,
or they got and then maybe have to play a Chase in the third round. Or they may have to play Shelby again. You never know. It's going to be fun to watch how this plays out. That's for sure. So
we're going to have some very interesting games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming up here.
In 2A and 3A around here, especially with the 4-3A teams, South Point, Crest, Kings Mountain, and East Lincoln. And then in 2A, Shelby, Burns, Chase, and West Lincoln, and Maiden. And that's going to be fun to watch what happens with this.
Well, why are we talking about this so much? Because it's more crucial. These next two games that are on our list here, Shannon, let's face it, they're not really going to be that exciting. You've got Bessemer City and Highland Tech and East Gaston and Cherryville.
Yeah, well, we can talk about it. Bessemer City quarterback Jamir Holmes, he set a school record last week with 5 touchdown passes and averaging 137 yards in the air with 8 touchdowns. But he does have 7 interceptions, and that could start biting him here, and probably won't do it tonight. But as the season goes on, Randall Pettis is his main target, averaging 70 yards per game. They're averaging 19, giving up over 30. Highland Tech comes in averaging just under 7, giving up over 50. That's really all you got to say about that. Now, this will be a lot different than last week against Burns. Highland Tech's not playing another Burns team, but the outcomes, I think, will be the same. Bessemer City should win this one pretty easily. They got it 34-16 over Highland Tech.
Well, we were talking about this quarterback earlier and off the air. He's a big kid.
Yeah, he is.
And Highland Tech, this could be a chance for him. You mentioned the number of interceptions he has. I think 7.
7, yeah.
However, this could be just what the doctor ordered for him. And Bessemer City could really turn themselves around by playing Highland Tech tonight and winning big. And I'm talking about a score of 34-13 over Highland Tech.
That could set them up, especially in the 1A playoffs. And, they still have Cherryville to play. And
that's the last one.
That's their last game. So that could.
Don't forget those split conferences are just throw all kinds of monkey wrenches into what we can talk about or predict. You got to beat 2 teams instead of 7 or 8. See, it's kind of weird. Have y'all done the East Gaston Cherryville yet?
Not yet.
We have not. We were just getting to them.
Sorry. Who did you get your scores on Bessemer City and Highland?
Yeah, 34-16.
Gotcha.
I've got it.
I'm 34-13.
East Gaston at Cherryville night. Matt Chapman and Danny Aker on the call for that. Guys, what you got on that one?
Well, I think East Gaston is, I think, going up to the mountains last week at Cherokee, come out with a, close win. I think they'll tonight they'll have an easier opponent in Cherryville. However, I think that I shouldn't say easier. I don't mean easier score-wise. I'm talking about you won't have the bigger guys pushing up against you, but what they're going to have that they probably didn't have up there is they're going to have to face a Cherryville team that's pretty fast and with quarterback and running backs they have. So I'm going to take Cherryville in this one. I think I like Coach Pruitt, what he's doing. And, again, a win like this for Cherryville to beat a 2A team, I think that would be huge for them. I think any 1A team that can beat a 2A team this year that puts them in the top of that conference as far as the 1A goes. So I'm going to say Cherryville. I'm going to say 21-16 over East Gaston.
Well, I agree with you. I like Coach Pruitt. I think the Cherryville Ironmen have had a difficult time so far. However, they remind me of a boxer who's just had the snot knocked out of him. And he's got to fight a couple of extra rounds, and he just doesn't have as much as he did when he started.
Right.
East Gaston, not that great, but they're playing Cherryville. So 28-12, East Gaston.
All right, time for this week's Power Poll. I'll read the ones on the bottom here. Folks, you get 4 points for a 4A victory, 3 for a 3A victory, 2 points for a 2A victory, 1 for a 1A victory. You lose points. You lose 0 for losing to a 4A school. You lose 1 for losing to a 3A school. You lose 2 for a 2A, and you lose 3 points for losing to a 1A school. Number 39, Highland Tech, minus 14 points. Jefferson at number 38, minus 11. Number 37, Patton, minus 10. 36, Ford, minus 7. Bessemer City at 35, minus 7. Number 34 at minus 6 is North Lincoln. 33, North Gaston, minus 5. 32, West Caldwell, minus 5. East Rutherford, minus 4 at 31. Number 30, West Iredale -3, 29 Lincoln, -3, 28 Cherville at -3. Bandy's only team at -1 at 27. Kramer has 0 points at 26, 25 RS Central at 0, East Burke with 0 at 24, and Mountain Island Charter with 0 points at 23. Hunter Huss has 1 point at 22, and North Iredale has 2 points at number 21. Dennis, I'll let you take 20 through 16.
All right, at number 20, we have the Ashbrook Green Wave. Their record is 1-3, and they have one PowerPoint poll, and they're -71 points. At number 19, the Shelby Golden Lions. The record's 2-3. They have one PowerPoint poll, and they're -148. Number 18, we have the Brevard Blue Devils. They're 2-2 with one PowerPoint, and they are down 112 points. At number 17, we have the St. Stephen's Indians, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They're 2-2, have one PowerPoint, and they're down 95 points. At number 16, we have the East Gaston Warriors. They're 2-2 with one PowerPoint, and they're down 90 points. Shannon?
At 15 would be the Newton Conover Red Devils. They're 2-2, one PowerPoint. They've given up 89 points this year. Number 14, the Forest View Jaguars at 2-2 with 3 PowerPoints, giving up 102 points this year. 13 is Polk County, 3-2 with 3 PowerPoints. Number 12 is Hickory. They are at 2-2 with 5 PowerPoints, giving up 116 points this year. And the number 11 team, the Statesville Greyhounds, they're at 2-2 with 6 PowerPoints, and they've given up only 73 points this year.
All right, Dennis, next line.
All right, at number 10, we have the Crest Chargers. They're 3-1 with 6 PowerPoints, and they're down 123 points. At number 9, we have the Chase Trojans. They're 4-0, 7 PowerPoints, and they're down 29. We have at number 8, the Maiden Blue Devils. They're 3-1 with 8 PowerPoints, and they're down 76 points. At number 7, the Hendersonville Wildcats, I guess, 4-1 at 8 PowerPoints, and they're down 84 points. At number 6, Terry Reinhardt's favorite team, the West Lincoln Rebels. They're 4-0. They're 9 PowerPoints, and they're down 49 points. Shannon?
And number 5, Kevin, you want to do the top 5?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Oh, go ahead.
Trying to get the Lincoln and broadcast on. Number 5, South Point got 9 PowerPoints. They're 4-0 on the season. Burns at number 4, 4-1 on the season. They got 10 PowerPoints. If they'd have won that game that they lost, they'd be in number 1 right now. Bunker Hill, Kings Mountain, and East Lincoln have all tied with 11 PowerPoints. They're all 4-0, so the tiebreaker goes to best defense. East Lincoln wins, giving up 20 points on the season. Kings Mountain 47, and Bunker Hill 73 on the season. I'm out of breath running up down the hall. All right, there's your top 10. Once again, Dennis and Shannon, read through tonight's games as we get prepared to get on out to the radio, out to the stadiums.
Where are tonight's games?
Right here. You want?
Oh,
the
you mean
right
all?
or
I
the
thought you meant the local games. Sorry about that.
All the games.
Okay, all of them. All right, you mean start on the left, Dennis?
Okay, East Gaston Warriors are taking on the Cherville Ironmen at Cherville. Bessemer City Yellow Jackets travel to Highland Tech. The Crest Chargers are taking on Stuart Kramer Storm at there. East Rutherford Cavaliers are playing the Chase Trojans. Newton Conover Red Devils are taking on the Lincoln Wolves. The West Lincoln Rebels are playing the Maiden Blue Devils. The Brandeis Trojans are playing the East Burke Cavaliers. Hunter Huss Huskies are taking on the South Point Red Raiders. Kings Mountain Mountaineers are taking on the North Gaston Wildcats. The Forest View Jaguars are playing the Ashbrook Green Wave. Thomas Jefferson Griffons are playing the Shelby Golden Lions. Polk County Wolverines are playing the Hendersonville Bearcats. The RS Central Hilltoppers are playing Brevard Blue Devils. And the Bunker Hill Bears are playing West Caldwell Warriors. Shannon?
All right, Community School of Davidson will be at Mountain Island Charter. Winston-Salem Carver will be going to Bishop Mcginnis. Pine Lake Prep will be at Winston-Salem Prep. Avery County will be traveling to Drone. The West Charlotte Lions will be going to the West Mac Hawks. St. Stephen's Indians will be at North Iredale Raiders. North Lincoln Knights will be at the Hickory Red Tornadoes. Fred T. Ford Tigers will be going to West Iredale Warriors. East Lincoln Mustangs will be traveling to the Statesville Greyhounds. The Owen Warhorses will be at the Mitchell Mountaineers. North Surrey Greyhounds will be at East Surrey Cardinals. Surrey Central Eagles will be going to the Wilkes Central Eagles. Forbush Falcons at West Wilkes Blackhawks. And the final game, Elkin Buccaneers, will be at the East Wilkes Cardinals.
I don't think I had my mic on for a minute for the folks. Might not have heard that top 5 there. South Point number 5, Burns 4, Bunker Hill 3, Kings Mountain 2, and East Lincoln number 1. We're about to send out to the stadiums tonight, folks. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the What's Up Shopper .com and Witherspoon Insurance and Shelby Prep Football pregame show. I want to thank everybody for listening and watching on YouTube. We've got Red Zone Radio coming up next on 7:30 on YouTube, and we got 4 games on the radio. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in here on the Witherspoon Insurance North Carolina Prep pregame football show.
Kurt's Premium Outlet in the Eastridge Mall in Gastonia is celebrating. It's their 4th anniversary sale now through October 2nd. The entire stock, 10% off their already low pricing. And listen to this, a big beautiful sofa, sale priced at $699. But that's not all.